Welcome to Quest of Glory 4, Shadows of Darkness, or whatever I decide to call it as a dumb title, because this is supposed to be a LP where we do nice things. We're going to be doing two nice things in this game. Both of them optional side quests, and one of them will be appropriately for Valentine's Day, reuniting a couple, and the other one will be ending a couple, which really should have a long time ago, but we'll get onto that later. But first, if you played this game, you're now going to picture this guy forever as really short and standing on that chair. I'm very sorry, you can't ever unsee that. Anyway, let's get started. Now, throughout the game, one of the first things you do is come across this little shop here.
I suppose you heard that the gypsy didn't kill Igor after all. Dmitri has set the gypsy free. No good will come of it. You mark my words. The man was clearly a werewolf.
So this is the town gossip, and she runs the shop. So we're going to be going, and one of the things she talks about every now and then is her husband.
Yeah, my sad departed husband. His name was Boris. Gone 3 years now. He was such a good man.
Now, you get the impression from the way she talks about him, and she often refers to him as departed, that you would think he's dead.
Yeah, good night, and don't let the bedbugs bite, as my husband used to say.
Okay, so her departed husband often uses little turns of phrase like that. And his name's Boris. So if you go just a couple of screens away, you actually find him.
A heavy gate blocks the way to the winding road. Far in the distance, you can see a majestic castle.
Welcome to Moldavia. It's nice to have some fresh blood around here. We so seldom see strangers.
Okay, so he's actually not dead, despite the fact what he looks like. He is, in fact, alive.
I am Boris Stelvich.
And his voice is amazing. Okay.
The town of Moldavia is to the east of here. Turn to the east as you leave and continue until your way is blocked by rocks. Then turn north and you will find the gates of the town.
Alright, so you've kind of figured it out at this point that he's not dead for whatever reason.
Goodbye, young man. May the fireplace be warm and the drink cold at your journey's end.
Yeah, and so you've kind of figured out that he's not actually dead, despite the fact what she talks to him, but clearly she hasn't seen him in a long time. So we're just going to go back and have a chat to her, which will be a large part of this LP.
I heard that someone burned down the old monastery.
That was me.
Isn't it strange how you were seen around that building recently?
Yep, that was me. I admitted to it as well.
Tell Olga about what you've been doing in Moldavia.
And be sure and keep me informed. I need to know everything that goes on around here. Someone's got to have a clue after all.
Oops, sorry. Didn't mean to do that one. So I'll ask about this one.
Nice.
Sorry, I forget what triggers it. Oh, there we go. So the gatekeeper, who's obviously her husband.
You tell Olga that the gatekeeper's name is Boris Stovich, and ask if they're related.
Aha! So that's where the so-and-so went. Tell him he's a rotten no-goodnik.
Okay, so we've got a message to take to him.
As my husband used to say, come back again, sunshine or rain.
Also, by the way, this game is narrated by John Rhys Davies, I believe his name is, who's Gimli, the narrator. There's a lot of very good voice acting in this game. And we're back at the castle.
Welcome again. It is so good to speak with you as always. The woods around here seem almost frightening at times. When you arrive, I know it is only my imagination that makes me nervous.
Your voice is making me pretty nervous. Okay.
My wife has been gone for many years now.
He always sounds sad when he's supposed to do it, so they give you two impressions.
You tell Boris what Olga said about him. He blushes.
Olga was always opinionated. I grew tired of listening to her complain about me all the time.
Okay.
Goodbye, and good travels.
And so that's basically all this side quest is. It's just it's completely optional. I don't think you get anything from it. You might get some honor points.
More missing people. Now old Nikolai is gone. What is this town coming to?
Okay, so she's actually just reacting to gossip in the order that I've done it in the game, because I've skipped obviously through lots of it very quickly to get to this point. That's okay.
You tell Olga that Boris says she complains about him all the time.
Well, if he'd ever been here to get his work done instead of spending all his time carousing at the inn, I wouldn't have had to complain. And you can tell him I said so, huh?
Yeah, so one of the things I like
That's
about...
my husband.
Anyway, you said the one before. One of the things I quite like about this little side quest is that it doesn't really have any bearing on the story. You don't have to do it. It doesn't really get you anything good. And you kind of have to do a little bit of adventure gaming to figure out exactly what's going on between these two.
Good day and welcome back. Have you been enjoying your adventures around here?
Tell him that Olga thinks he was too lazy.
Lazy? What was there to do in a shop with no customers? Once the swamp cut off trade here, we had nothing to sell. I had nothing to do there, so just because I would sit at the inn and talk with the other men, she thought I was lazy. All she ever did was sit around and give me orders when I was in the shop. What was the point of dusting if no one came in the shop to notice the dust? Come back again sometime. It's good to have someone to talk to, besides myself.
You again. Heard anything interesting lately?
Okay, it looks like she's caught up on all my gossip, because she's just spouting generic lines now.
You tell Olga that Boris didn't like being ordered around all the time.
Ah, I wouldn't have had to order him around if he would only have done his work. I just wanted the shop to be neat and clean in case anyone came in. How does he expect me to do all the work around here by myself? This was his family's business after all.
I imagine it's also very hard to keep a place with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cats.
Yeah, good night and don't let the bedbugs bite, as my husband used to say.
A fine autumn day to be walking. A man who walks everywhere will see much, I always say.
You tell Boris that Olga is having trouble running the shop without him.
There is much to do to keep the shop straightened up. My family always worked together to keep it going before. If only Olga wouldn't nag me all the time. She and I used to enjoy running the shop when we actually had things to sell. What is the point of even running a shop when there is no business?
Tell Olga that Boris doesn't see any reason to keep the shop open when there's nothing left to sell.
No business. You just tell that man about my avocado and garlic sandwiches. People come in and buy them all the time.
And by everyone she means you, because they're actually your rations for this game.
Yeah, good night and don't let the bedbugs bite, as my husband used to say.
And you also need them to catch an Antwerp for one of the puzzles. And no, I think that's all you can do with them.
You tell Boris about Olga's avocado and garlic sandwiches.
How I used to love her avocado and garlic sandwiches. We had them on our wedding night, you know. You should have seen the garlic and avocado flowers decorating our wedding cake. Oh, beautiful. And she baked the cake herself. Oh, she always was a good cook. You remind me of how much I miss my wife. I shall go back and visit her.
Again, it would feel a lot more comfortable if he said that in a voice which wasn't super sinister.
May the sun and the moon keep watch over you.
So for like 3 years, no one bothered to tell her that where her husband was. I know they're all paranoid in this town, but still.
Well now. Boris came back to visit me. We had a lot to talk about. He says he'll come back again after work. It was nice to see him. Seemed like old times.
Okay, so you just...
As my lost husband used to say, may all your travels lead somewhere.
So just pretend that a day passed, because the game certainly did. It does that a bit, actually. If you're familiar with this game, you will be familiar with its many, many bugs.
You don't have any rations. You better get some food soon.
When the days are short and the nights grow long, a friendly face is a welcome sign.
Okay, and let's see how we're going together.
You know, it is nice to be able to snuggle with my Olga again on these cold nights. Thank you for getting us back together.
And there you go. Completely optional side quest to reunite two elderly people who were estranged. And that's a nice thing, isn't it? Okay, fresh from saving one relationship, we're going to do something a little bit different with this one. Kind of splitting up a couple, but also this is a good thing. It'll make sense, don't worry.
You have a strange, disquieting feeling along with a sense of sorrow, longing, and unfulfilled desires as you near the lake. The briny lake seems to draw you towards it.
Hello there. Could you help me? This water is so cold and I need someone to help warm me.
Okay, so as you may have guessed, this is not what it appears. This is obviously a trap. And this is actually a creature called the Rosalka, which is a,
It is so cold here in the lake. Please, come and hold me and help me to be warm again.
And she's actually an undead spirit, undead water spirit, who drowns men, and is basically cursed to do that forever. However, there is more depth to this character than you would think after seeing that character there. So we're going to give her some flowers.
Thank you for the beautiful flowers. No one has been so nice to me since I can remember.
Okay, now have a bit of a chat to her and see what's going on.
You ask what a nice girl like her is doing in a place like this.
I don't really know. I've been here for such a long time now. I mean, it's not like I can go anywhere. I can't leave the lake.
So she's cursed to drown people.
It's my job to drown anyone who
that's what
comes
she
to
does.
the lake. That's what being a Rosalka is all about.
Okay, now we're gonna free her from this curse, being the nice guy that we are and doing nice things. And so as you can see, she kind of doesn't really want to do it, but that's her. That's
You have a strange...
kind of what she has to do as an
Hello.
undead spirit.
You seem different somehow since the last time we met. More powerful and just a bit stranger. What happened to you? So a ghost told you to cure me? I don't get it. Why should he care whether or not I hang around here? Does he have something against me drowning people? Or does he just want to be the only undead in Mordavia? If I remember correctly, someone drowned me here, so I became a Rosalka. I just don't remember who did it, or why, or anything else about my death. Or my life, for that matter.
Okay, so the way that you need to cure a Rosalka, you need to find out who they are, and then you, because they're always, the spirits are only created when the when women are drowned by basically betrayed by their partners. I'll just skip this fight by using a hide spell. There's no real point to fighting them. I'll just get poisoned. Okay, so we have to go to the graveyard. Now, we don't... Because she doesn't... We need to tell her who she is. We need to find her grave. So...
This gravestone is marked. No effort could Elissa save. She passed into a watery grave. Her body was lost. Only her memory remains.
Okay, so that's very obviously her.
Here lies Janos, faithful forever to his lost true love, laid beside her empty grave.
Okay, so her faithful love, which is curious because, again, they're the spirits of people who are drowned by their partners, apparently loved her to the end and was forever faithful? Yeah, I don't think so. So we're going to go back to her. Sun's setting. And we can give her a little bit more information.
You have a strange...
Hello. Have you learned anything while you were gone?
To tell the Rosalka her true name.
Elissa. Yes, that was my name. I'm starting to remember things now. I was going to be married. My fiancé and I came down to the lake for an evening swim. We were skinny dipping, actually. And then he wanted to, well, you know, but I wouldn't. So he drowned me. He always did have a low frustration point. That's how I became a Rusalka.
Okay, so now we know who killed her, and now that she's remembered parts about herself, we can now start this slightly
You're going to sweep the grave of my fiancé with my hair in a broom?
Yeah, we're going to do that.
Won't that make him mad or something? You'd better be careful. He had a nasty temper, remember?
Okay, so did she give me the hair? No, she didn't. I need your hair.
You want some of my hair? Sure. Here, I've got plenty of it. How do you think I'd look with short hair?
Okay, now we got the hair. I bought the broom before off Olga in the shop. And there we go. Interestingly, just a bit of background information. A Rusalka is actually a Slavic folklore figure, and often they were apparently early on they were just water spirits, and later on they became more or less how they're depicted in this game. Oh, I don't want to fight that thing. That's quite difficult. That's a Necrotor. It's not really explain what they are. It's kind of like an undead bull. Okay, now. And interesting, Rusalka was actually apparently one of the inspirations for The Little Mermaid by Hans Christian Andersen. Okay, so that's his grave there. Now, he's an undead, so we're going to cast this spell here, which it's called the Aura spell.
You cast the Aura spell. A gentle glow suffuses your body.
And this means that it can't insta-kill us, which is always a good thing. So this is his grave.
That didn't do anything. You dust yourself off with the broom.
Okay, I didn't mean to do that.
That
is his grave, right?
The gravestone is...
Maybe it has to be a bit later.
After...
Let's try that. There we go. This is Janos. That was a terrible jump. Alright, I'll just... he's in range. Once you can hit these guys once, they're basically stun locked. This game doesn't have the best combat. Oh, they are immune to frost spells. I didn't know that. I've learned something today.
You have destroyed the untrue lover's ghost and avenged the Rusalka's memory. Nice work if you can get it.
Alright. So now it's night time. It's a bit more dangerous. We probably won't come across much, but I can just cast that spell again if need be. And the curse should be broken.
You have a strange, disquieting...
You did it, didn't you? I felt you getting rid of my ex-fiancé. Now I feel so strange. What's happening to me? What's going to happen next?
Okay, now there is one more thing we need to do.
You want to kiss me now? Are you sure about this? I mean, it is unlucky to kiss the undead, you know. You could wind up dead or something.
have just gained the Paladin's Honor Shield through your actions. You reach out to take the once lovely Rosalta in your arms and kiss her goodbye.
You're sweet. You know that? Not many guys would do this for me. It's funny, isn't it? I always wanted to be kissed by a guy like you. Well, if I gotta go, at least I get my wish. Thanks. Let's go, lover boy.
And the mystery of her murder is solved, and her spirit has passed on from murdering people for all eternity. So, and that's a nice thing too. Thanks for watching this. I hope you've enjoyed these two little nice bits of this game.